What is hold on. This sign is hold on. Now we're good. Daisy's like, what's going on? Hey, folks, the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast brought to you by Horizon Hydroponics. I visited there yesterday. What a great bunch. It's the smell of cannabis harvest in there, okay? I don't know why when I visit Horizon Hydroponics, we always have a discussion about, people also grow vegetables indoors. And I'm like, they do? You mean to tell me that the outdoor growing season in their garden with tomatoes and cucumbers ends, and that they go, seriously, I've got 80,000 mason jars of tomatoes here. There's nothing I'd like more than, more tomatoes. I don't know. But nevertheless, if that's your thing, they have everything you need at Horizon Hydroponics. Okay. Did the live Growers 101 with John yesterday. I actually had 2 masks on. I was double masked because I'm just a little paranoid. That's okay. The thing is, when I visited John from Horizon Hydroponics yesterday, I brought my different camera setup, something that I've had the whole time. I've done this setup with John, visited him and recorded a video or posted a Facebook Live video like a dozen times. And it took this long to grab the equipment that I already have had and said, why don't we just use this? It's such a better quality video and it's mic'd better. What is wrong with me? What a dumbass. But anyway, it was good seeing John and spending time with him. When we were getting started, he took off his mask. And then he actually, because he has to wax that handlebar mustache so that it does all those crazy loopty things that go straight up. And he's like getting ready for the big video shoot. It was awesome. If you need anything to grow indoors, which right about now we're getting into indoor growing season, so I'm told, you call upon our friends at Horizon Hydroponics, Horizen, hydroponics.com. Thank you. Buy online, orders $250 and more. You get free shipping. Coupon code Zane Show at checkout, and you save 10%. I was talking with Shane, one of the dudes over there at Horizon Hydroponics, and he has a pal of his who said, "Hey Shane, I want to. It's legal in Michigan now. I want to grow some plants." And Shane described it as a guy, put the seed in the ground and then loaded up on all the plant food products that you get there. And he said the plants were 18 feet tall. It looked like that scene from the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio when he's like, what the fuck? Where am I? Okay, thank you, Horizon Hydroponics. The sponsor from the health department, folks over there at the health department, thank you, Kent County Health Department, with 4 COVID testing stations. And in case you're feeling a little sicky poo, just drive up, take care of that. Vaccinations for the kids. That costs a little bit of money, if you do this on your own. But if you call the health department, you can get the vaccinations for little or no cost. And don't let those slip through the cracks, okay? You need your kids vaccinated for measles, mumps, rubella, whooping cough, pertussis, not to mention meningitis, HPV, your flu shot. Now, unless you're a granola-eating idiot who doesn't believe in vaccinations, well, basically, you're going to want your kids vaccinated. The last thing you want to be is
stupid fucking hippie. Take a shower, hippie. Smell like shit, hippie. Dirty fucking hippie.
You know it's going to be a good show when
he's Benny the Wonder Dog. Benny the Wonder Dog. Benny the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. Yeah! Benny the One-Eyed Dog. Benny the One-Eyed Dog. Benny the One-Eyed Wonder Dog. Don't you want them?
When we can drop Gunner in out of left field. I might even have to put a call into Gunner very, very soon, talk to him. Where was I? Yeah, so if you're a stupid idiot hippie and you don't believe in vaccinations, then screw off. Thank you, Kent County Health Department. If they only knew the things I say to anti-vaxxers, they might be like, hey, you might want to soften that. Fuck it. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, 616-532-6600. Reach out to them. Irvines.com. Repairing cars in West Michigan for many, many years. Domestic, Asian, European, just about everything under the sun, minus like Volkswagens, sorry. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. They do the best job possible. And don't just take my word for it. Check out the Google reviews, the almighty Google reviews. The power is in the hands of the consumer. So, basically, if you're a business that doesn't do a good job and you start getting those negative Google reviews, you're pretty much screwed right in your little butthole there. So they've made it a point to make that a very, very important thing. Every customer leaves like, man, I just got the best thing going right there at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Okay. Well, that's the type of show it's going to be today. I'm not going to lie to you as we get started. Let me just say that it is the 4th of November, 2020. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now. Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
Sean
Gotti here, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And there's not a single radio show around here that's worth a damn. So I'm listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast, coming to you live Monday through Friday. So sit back, get your trays in the upright position, feet and elbows out of the aisle, because here he comes, Eric Zane.
Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that rousing intro on your part. If you want to make an intro for the Eric Zane Show podcast, I think I'm all caught up. I think everybody who's sent me audio, I've made an intro for them. If I haven't, would you please send it again and say, hey, you forgot me, knucklehead? That's bound to happen with me. I've got a number of them. So if you want to hear your voice featured on an intro, just put your phone down in front of you, hit the note taker, hit record, and just do your thing. Have it prepared. I mean, even Kevin in Muskegon was prepared, and he sounded reasonably coherent and smooth. You see, he's not here to hear that right now because he's probably sleeping. But nevertheless, welcome into you. Send me an intro, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you want to participate. I got a bunch of them. It's so much fun. Okay, wow. So today is the day, and I'm not going to lie. It's really a scenario where you have to focus to be able to carry on an entire show the way my show is. I have a monologue style show, and it's me and you don't talk. So, that's a challenge every single day for now nearly 460 episodes of the Eric Zane Show podcast. And of course, I'm up to the task. No problem at all. It's what I've been doing for a long, long time. But there is quite literally, everybody is on the edge of their seats right now with anticipation about this presidential election. And let me just say this. There is plenty to talk about, but we're all kind of in this flustered mode about what has happened and what is going on. But let me just say, this is absolutely spectacular drama. This is like, oh my God, this is incredible. Now, will I say that in a day or so? Probably not. But let me just get you caught up with what's going on. And it's changing very fast. So by the time I get done with this podcast, it might be outdated. But in fact, before I get to that, let me. I'm already getting ahead of myself. Dear Meathead happens in about 45 minutes. Okay. I as always love questions. I do have a stockpile of questions because last week we got bombarded with them. So I do have a stockpile. I don't want you to feel pressure to get me a question. And actually, I had a few come in yesterday. So thank you very much for that. We'll get into that. Probably talk about the election quite a bit with Dad too. And we'll get into that. Election night come and gone, as I said, but where do we stand? That's something I'll discuss in just a minute. Oregon, the state of Oregon. Side note, it is pronounced Oregon. And if you're around someone that says Oregon, punch them in the face, okay? It is not Oregon. It's Oregon. That's how you say it. Oregon is now the drug capital of the United States. You're like, wait, what's going on? Was there like some big bust? No. The voters spoke. This is really something. I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of feel like swimming in the deep end, and you're like, oh, what's going to happen? But you like know how to swim. All right. It's a little bit what I felt like when Michigan changed their laws on pot. But I'll get into that. Why are there a bunch of dead ducks everywhere? I'll tell you what's happening in that story. Thank God for the Sikhs. What, Zane, did you say Sikhs? You've seen Sikhs. They're often mistaken for Muslims. They're not. They wear turbans, though. And thank God for them in one community. And another example why Detroit is one of the world's most violent cities with video. Now, you won't be able to see the video, but I'll link it up so you can see it whenever you want to. But I've got an audio story that is just ridiculous. All right, deep breath. When I talk about high drama, I mean it, man. So leading up to this election, all of the votes that have come in across the United States. In fact, there's 3.1 votes cast in Michigan before the election even started. So, the country was really bearing down to vote early, and there was a lot of avenues for people to make sure that they were able to get the vote out. And I'm seeing that I think nearly 70% of the country has voted in this election. Now, to me, I don't know why it's not 100%, frankly, but that's pretty damn good. I mean, you've heard about pathetic voting numbers in the past for various things, but this was pretty strong. Nearly 70% of the country voting in this election. You gotta be proud of people in that regard. And when I'm watching the results come in yesterday, it was interesting to see the dynamic because as it unfolded, it became pretty clear that Trump was going to win Florida, and he has. They might have it as too close to call right now, but he is going to win Florida. And you've heard many times that, oh, all right, well, when as Florida goes, the country goes. All right, well, I guess for that period of time, we might have been thinking that, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. But there's a series of states that are incredibly important in this election, and one of them is right here in Michigan. And I was reading an article in, I think it was Politico yesterday, that there's 21 counties in the United States, and there's more than 3,000 counties in this country. There's 21 counties in the United States. In fact, let me just get this article, which is never good for me to be looking up an article while I'm doing the show. There you go. 21 battlegrounds that could make or break Trump. 3,141 counties in the United States. And they talk about in Maricopa County, Arizona, where Phoenix is. And it looks like Biden is going to win Arizona. And that's a state that in the last election, Trump won that. That's big. Omaha, Nebraska is big because of the way the state of Nebraska is laid out with the way the electoral votes are distributed. Erie County, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia and its suburbs. And one of the counties listed in this article is Kent County, Michigan, where Grand Rapids is. And that explains the Trump being here as much as he did for as late as he did. Trump chose to finish the 2020 campaign with an election eve event in Grand Rapids. That appearance 4 years ago proved to be an excellent use of his time. On Election Day, he improbably won Michigan by less than 11,000 votes, making him the first Republican nominee to win the state since 1988. Once reliably Republican Kent County did its part back then, Trump won the county by 9,500 votes. Yet the victory in Kent County is somewhat unconvincing. A 48 to 45% win, and there are signs the president hasn't shored up his position since then. Problem is that the county, the population center of West Michigan, is becoming bluer. Suburbs have chafed at Trump's style and rhetoric. In 2018, Gretchen Whitmer, a frequent target of Trump's criticism, won by 4 percentage points, given the Democratic margins expected from Detroit and its suburbs. Trump simply can't afford to lose a place like Kent County, and I don't think he will. However, as the night unfolded, I was like, man, Trump is kicking ass in Michigan. And it turns out that Ohio is a Trump state. And the way Chuck Todd and NBC News is describing it, they were kind of like presenting it, even though they know full well that the absentee ballots and the early voting ballots still had yet to be tabulated. They were starting to really kind of buy into this whole idea that Trump was going to win the states of Wisconsin, Michigan. It was very clear that Ohio was going to be won by Trump, and he had already, everybody pretty much decided that he was going to win Florida, and that does appear to be true. Florida and Ohio will be red states if they aren't already. But this idea that Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, all these manufacturing states, were going to turn towards Trump or stay red as they were in the previous election. And I went to bed, and he had a pretty decent lead in all of those. And Chuck Todd was saying, "Oh, polling is all screwed up." So they're already, in my opinion, it sounded to me like they were making this about, oh my God, this is the polling is way wrong, and this is just a screwed up scenario. Holy crap. And kind of like I was getting the impression that they were readying the American people for Trump's kicking Biden's ass. So I go to bed, and then I wake up, and you take a look, and in fact, I woke up, I had dreams about the election last night. I had a dream about Trump and counting votes, which is just insane to me. And I was like, son of a bitch, I've got this this buzzing in my brain. I mean, I want to find out. Now, believe me, I don't have any anxiety about any of this. I don't get wrapped up in this shit so much that I let it affect my life. You all know that I've pretty much, regardless of who the president is, I don't hang my life essence on who is winning an election. I pretty much just mind my own business and focus on what I can control. And you should too, I think. But I was interested. I want to find out. I want to know. I want to win. I want to know who won this damn thing. And if you looked on Twitter last night, man, people were so pissed off because Texas started out as a blue state, and then it came back around. It's Trump's. And people were so pissed off. Holy shit, man. The blue staters, you guys get so damn rattled, and just your whole life is ruined and disgusted when you see shit like this. When Lindsey Graham wins South Carolina, that's the thing. Lindsey Graham won by like 250,000 votes, and they all the usual sources that are typically mainstream media, they're writing he staves off an attack. It's like, he kicked the shit out of that guy. What are you talking about? And so Lindsey Graham makes a statement, and he's like, you people like what I do, and I'm going to keep doing it. And hard to argue. I mean, the guy won by like pretty much handily. And for them to point it out in the media that he staves off, I mean, you're making it sound like it was a nail biter or a squeaker. So anyway, he wins his seat back, or he retains his seat in South Carolina. And man, everybody, just the shit that they say about that guy. It's like, dude, he won. The people voted for him. So it really drives me crazy when people then, I mean, it's all sour grapes. Same thing with Speaker of the House. What's the guy's name from Mitch McConnell, the guy from Kentucky? Same thing. Guy wins. He won. He won the damn thing. And then everybody is just letting Kentucky people are idiots. They're all retarded. Their words, not mine. What a bunch of assholes. Just shut the fuck up. I mean, the people vote, they decide, and that's it. Pick up the pieces, move on with your life, but shut up. Like, if Biden wins, and I think he's going to, fuck, that's it, man. Shut up. So I wake up in the morning. I woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. And these races are damn close. In fact, at last check, just when I was getting the show started, Trump was actually behind in Wisconsin by point something. And in Michigan, his lead was down to like 0.8. And I give credit to all those people that came out and placed their votes early. This is democracy. This is fucking ass kicking. You don't like it? Get your ass out there and vote. Fuck it, man. Do something about it. I love this process. This is freaking awesome. And it looks like Pennsylvania, Trump is going to win that. I mean, he is up by quite a bit in Pennsylvania, but again, there's a lot of votes still to be counted, and a lot of people they're still counting those late votes. And I personally had discounted those votes and was like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to bed. Trump won. He's kicking his ass. I wake up, no way, man, he's not kicking his ass. Now, here's where it gets a little bit dicey, in my opinion, because I was reading that if a person wins a state by 1% or less, the opponent can ask for a recount. So that makes this a little bit more of a slag, if you will, a slog. Slag? Do you say slag or slog? It slows the process down. So who knows what's going to happen? I've got some audio for you. First of all, hold on a second. Before I get to that, I want to read to you a in Wisconsin. There were all the absentee ballots. Listen to this. Green Bay is red leaning, and this tweet: Green Bay's absentee ballot results are being delayed. This at 5:00 this morning because one of the vote counting machines ran out of ink, and election officials had to hustle back to City Hall to get more. How embarrassing is that? How can you not, in a presidential election, again, you have one job. How can you not have all of your shit, all of your office supplies there ready to go at where you're doing this? Why does it have to be this way? Oh my God, we're out of ink. Go back to City Hall and get more? Holy shit. Okay. Trump is getting a lot of heat for something. First of all, let me play you this. This is Joe Biden in the middle of the night.
We feel good about where we are. We really do. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election. True international effort to pressure. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Okay, so there's him saying, I believe we're on track to win this election. Remember that. No one's talking about that. All they're talking about is this.
We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list. Okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment. And we will win this. And we, as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you.
Okay. Now, I'm going to talk about the first part of that in a second here. But when he said, as far as I'm concerned, we won it. Now, to me, that's about the same level of bolstering that you're doing as what Biden said when he said, we're on track to win the election. And Trump said, to me, we already won. Now, that could mean that he thinks, well, we actually won the election. And this is, if he would have said, I have won the election and this is a scam, I think that's a problem. I don't think that's a big deal at all. Him saying, to me, we've already won. But everybody's making a fucking big deal about that and lighting his ass on fire. But what I do have a problem with is the first part of that.
We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
Okay.
We don't want.
There was voting stop when voting stopped. Voting stopped when the polls closed. And I'm sorry, Mr. President, but people sent their fucking ballots in and the shit has to be counted. Okay? So a lot of these states, it's different in most states. Some have rules that we don't even know about how long you can count for. These states are completely within their rights to actually count the votes. So I don't buy for a second when Trump says we're going to go to the Supreme Court and the election should have been over. Let's just nip this in the bud right now. Shut the fuck up. The votes came in legit and they should be counted. Everyone's vote should be counted. So I'm not buying that for a second. In my opinion, Trump was watching the numbers flip on his ass and was getting a little antsy at whatever time it was in the morning when he made that appearance and said that bullshit.
Them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them.
No one's voting after the polls closed. Okay. So that's seriously, you need to shut up about that.
To the list. Okay. It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment.
No, it isn't.
And
it's not sad at all.
We will win this. And we, as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you.
I don't think there's anything sad about that. I think the fact of the matter is everybody voted the way they were supposed to. You had nearly 70% voter turnout. I think that everybody behaved for the most part. In the end, both of these assholes just need to shut up and let it go. Let the chips fall as they may. You are entitled to a recount again if you're at 1% or under and you're in the margin of victory for the opponent. So, all right, you can take advantage of that, and we'll wait it out. No big deal. But you're not the boss here in this election. The people are. So both of you just shut up. And I think Trump, for real, you need to shut up more than Biden. All right? That's bullshit.
We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote, it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted. It's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. True and international effort to pressure.
He's right. He's absolutely right. So there you go. And then hold on, did I already get the Trump thing? Okay, so that's basically it. That's where we are right now. It was really interesting to me to wake up and I was like, oh shit. I didn't, you go to bed and you're like, holy crap, Trump's leading and it's going to be a ass kicking, maybe even a landslide in Pennsylvania, which is big. Now, I haven't looked at the breakdown of if Trump gets this or if Biden gets this and what has to happen. But I was reading that whoever loses Pennsylvania would have to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona. So Biden is losing to Trump in Pennsylvania. And then I went to bed, and Trump had sizable leads also in Michigan and Wisconsin. And it was looking like Arizona was going to be Biden's when I went to bed. So to wake up and see, Trump has a narrow lead in Michigan with plenty of votes still out there. And in Wisconsin, he's actually trailing now all of a sudden. So that would mean, if that does hold true, that would mean, and Biden was making ground up in Michigan. So that would be exactly what would have happened. Trump would have won if Trump wins Pennsylvania and then fucking loses Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona. And he's already lost Arizona. Holy shit. That would be something, incredible thing. But I expect this to drag on because I expect Trump to challenge with that recount. In Pennsylvania, these people went home. Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. I'm like, how the hell can you go home? They went home last night and said, hey, we're tired. We'll pick it up and count more in the morning. Pennsylvania is counting votes at a rate of 14,000 an hour. What a thing. Man. All right, there you go. That is the open of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Brought to you by F45 Training Byron Center. All right, go to their website, f45training.com/Byron Center, and sign up for a week free, okay? That is so awesome. You can try the place out in Byron Center, Michigan, growing community where a lot of people are like, hey, let's do it. Let's get in shape. They are at half capacity there, and everything is sanitized. You have group training with a personal touch, showers there. Everything is set up for you beautifully. It is awesome. Bang on their door and try them out for free. See if you like it. Please mention my name when you visit F45 Training in Byron Center, Michigan, right in the Family Fair Shopping Plaza. Thank you. Mario Flores and the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage wants to get you in a mortgage. 231-332-6505. That's 231-332-6505. It's never been a better time to go and get a mortgage. And if you're a person who has a terrific credit score, I want you to bang on Mario's door and see what he can do for you in that process. And if you're a first timer, oh my God, this is fantastic. Reach out to Mario if you are a first time person looking for a mortgage for the first time. 231-332-6505. On Patreon, I'm inviting you to join me on Patreon. A lot of times there are shows, podcasts that have like a donate button, which, oh boy, I just feel terrible about that. I don't do that, and I never want to. I only want your money if I can offer you something in return. It's been a big thing of mine here on the podcast. Like, for example, with Ben, I would have never have called upon Ben if I couldn't actually give him something. So Ben actually gets paid. He's a paid employee of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Same thing with Patreon. No, thank you. I don't want a donate button, but I do want you to sign up for my Patreon for more content. And I give you a lot. I give you, of course, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. I give you the Lost Zane recordings from WBBL. They drop on Mondays and Fridays. Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia, the 5-day-a-week Patreon bonus podcast, and the Insane Asylum, my music-driven radio show from Q100 in northern Michigan. And I give you that commercial free. You know, I don't feel satisfied in discussing what has happened on the election, so I kind of want to reach out to a few of you beautiful souls to see what you are up to. So I figured I would just bang on a couple of doors here. Let's say, hey, Siri, call Red State Dirk on speaker.
Calling Red State Dirk on speaker.
Temporarily should be known as COVID Dirk because he is under the weather, diagnosed, and we talked about this just the other day. He might be sleeping it off. I don't know. Probably not the best idea to call a guy.
Hi, this is Craig. I can't get to the phone.
Hi, this is Craig. I've got COVID. Hey, Siri. Call Rob Blue State on speaker.
Calling Rob Blue State on speaker.
Laura, I'm coming to you next.
Eric Zane.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Oh, not bad. I'm in the middle of work right now. You can call me back at like 9:30. It might work.
No. All right, no problem.
All right.
All right, I'll
Talk to you
talk to you.
later.
See you, man. Yeah, that's what happens. Nobody wants to talk to Eric. Hey Siri, call Laura Caprara on speaker. Siri doesn't like me stumbling over my words. Hey Siri. What the fuck? She decides she didn't want to work anymore. Hey Siri, call Laura Caprara on speaker.
Calling Laura Caprara on speaker.
Mm-hmm. What happened? Are you even there? All right, there. Oh, is that weird? Mm-hmm. Everybody's hungover.
Good morning.
Did you sleep at all last night?
I did. I actually went to bed at like about 12:30 because I thought, this is going to go on for a long time, because you could see on the New York Times site, you can actually watch real time as they pour in.
Right.
I'm like, 10% of the ballots.
Oh, I hate that. It's such a terrible feeling. And by the way, good morning to you too. I should have said that.
Good morning. Yeah.
So, all right, I went to bed, and Trump was in Michigan. He was handing Biden his lunch. In Wisconsin, it was Trump. In Pennsylvania, and then I wake up and it's flipped.
I know. Welcome to what I experienced in 2016.
Oh, okay. So you're like, oh yeah, this is great, Hillary Clinton, and then all of a sudden you wake up and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was called in 2016. You went to bed thinking that it was going to be okay, and then you woke up and it was like, nope, not okay. I mean, not okay for all, but yeah. So that it was a very similar experience. But this is a weird one, just because I honestly think it's just gonna be a slow roll into the finish line. It's really, I don't think anybody really truly knows.
No. I think it's there are actually, as we speak, people putting those ballots into those machines and then waiting for the green check mark to count it. And then as quickly as possible, those results are conveyed. But it has so much to do with literally stacks and stacks and piles of those ballots that were sent in early by people.
Absolutely. I pulled that site up, the New York Times site, the real time. And, it had, when I went to bed, Trump had a 10-point lead on him. And now it's down to 49.4% to 48.9%. So that's between Biden and Trump. But then you go down, you scroll down, and it has the section absentee votes for presidential candidates. 16% of the counties, 13 of 83, have reported absentee votes. And what I'm reading on the socials is that the big ones aren't completely tabulated. So but Trump has he's got a lot of absentee coming in too.
Right.
So it's not like all Biden.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean, and you're talking about the state of Michigan right now, correct?
Yeah, because it's really gonna come down to us.
Michigan or Wisconsin, pretty much, because Trump's probably going to win Pennsylvania, and he's probably going to win Georgia, and so at the end of the day, you have these two Rust Belt states that are neck and neck. But Trump has spent, the last 6 months saying, "Don't do it early. Do it. Burn your absentee ballots. Burn your mail-in voting, and encouraging people to do it day of." So I don't know if that is if that's going to bode well for him. I would be very, very concerned if I were him at this point.
Yeah, I just my son works for the Peter Meyer campaign, and he was at their campaign party last night, and he woke up this morning, and even though they have a pretty substantial lead over Skolton, they still don't know for sure. So it's across the board, and it's pretty exciting. And for me at this point, just the massive amount of numbers of people that voted is so refreshing. And, to be able to wake up and go, okay, you know what, we'll never see anything like this again. I really don't think so. So.
Yeah, it's really strange that a pandemic led us to this. I mean, it's really something. What I don't like is I don't like Trump already holding his breath and sucking his thumb and whining. It's like, come on, man.
I know.
Yeah, he's making it.
Why I haven't liked him all along.
The jackass is making it seem like people are voting after the voting time is done, and that's not happened. That is so embarrassing to even suggest that. What a jackass!
But the sad thing is that people are going to believe that too because he says it, and so that's the hardest part about all this is just. It is, I'm kind of like I'm faith-based, Zane. So thy will be done. It's going to happen. It's going to pan out the way it's going to pan out.
Yeah.
And, then we have to just really focus on going back to liking each other and being like, okay, I love when you rant about Trump and I love it because you voted for him and you ran about it. And that's so awesome. On so many levels, because it's just, everybody's flawed, and now we're watching the repercussions of the last 4 years. And this just, I had said to my mom, I just hope that the win is huge, because if it's super close, it's going to be very hard for either side, the losing party, to get over it.
I got news for you. It's going to be close, and it's going to go to the recounting, and he's going to complain. And frankly, after today, I'm over it. I am over it at this point. And at that, and it'll slowly start to filter away from my brain activity, and I'll be like, let me know who won. I don't really care anymore. I'm done talking about it. I mean, it's I can't. Do you remember when Gore and Bush back in 2000? How long that went on? Oh,
the hanging chad. I remember the hanging chads.
Oh my God!
And the pictures of this was considered a hanging chad, and if the chad was still on there, then it counted as I totally remember it. And it came down to Florida.
Right. I think what it boils down to for me, here we are it was in the middle of the night that Trump started to make up stories about people shouldn't be allowed to vote after the precincts close or whatever he said. It's at that point that I'm like, why are you such a twat? Why can't you just shut up and be like everybody else and say, all right, the votes that came in need to be counted because they can, and those are the rules, and that's the end of it, man. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed about this president in particular, and I admire it because I'm wired in this way too, he does not like to lose. I think that's probably the worst feeling for him. And even if he smells it, he very well could still win, but I think he really wanted to win, like wake up and, oh, look I killed him by a land. He won't be able to say all the things I think that he wanted to say. And that's probably a little hard on that fragile ego.
Well, take it from me. I mean, I've got one of those, and trust me. Oh boy,
nowhere near like that one. But yeah. It's all going to be okay. Everybody's going to still love each other. It's good. I would have gone to bed at 10 o'clock had I known that we were only going to be this far down the road, So
yeah, for sure. You know
I'm
what?
more mad I missed sleep than anything else.
I'm going to cut you loose and talk to one of my red state friends. Okay.
Sweet. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Good
Much
luck,
love. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See you. Bye. All right. I'm not done talking about this, but frankly, once it ends today, I'll be like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Hey, Siri, call fuckface Nick on speaker.
Calling fuckface Nick on speaker.
You're gonna hear the truck backing up. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, not too bad of myself.
You on Bluetooth by chance?
I am. I just rolled my window up.
There's probably okay. Yeah, that sounds a lot better actually. Okay, so did you go to bed thinking, all right, we got this one?
No, not really. I knew it was going to take probably days, maybe weeks to get this out.
Well, okay, but it's incredibly closer. In fact, it appears that Michigan and Wisconsin in particular are flipping.
Yeah. Yes, they do. They do. Yeah. You know, I don't really care who's president, honestly. I'm not going to throw a temper tantrum.
Gotcha. No, and that's good, and I wish I could say the same thing about the other side, because the other side seems to be really, really hell bent on this with some of the responses about Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell retaining their positions. But what about Trump making up the story about, hey, I want voting to stop, and voting had stopped, precincts closed, people stopped voting.
Yeah, I don't really know much about it. I didn't catch the news story. So.
All right. Hey, I want you to be safe on the road there, okay?
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. There you go. Fuckface Nick bringing it strong as usual. Hey, Siri. Call Jason Schaefer on speaker. What the? Come on, man. Huh? Jason. No, not Kaysen. Why not? Yeah, okay. I knew I had your number. I was like, wait a minute. Incoming.
Your call has been.
Oh, for God's sake! All right, well, I'm losing. I'm running out of steam. Show note: the Ben and Eric Patreon bonus podcast will make its appearance on Thursday of this week. Okay, so tomorrow at 6 p.m., Ben and I will be in here discussing probably a lot of election-based things and just the mood of the country and having a great time, probably beating the shit out of Ben about another week of terrible jokes on Twitter by Ben. Oh, please. I tweeted at him, please, God, make it stop. So there you go. The Ben and Eric Patreon bonus podcast will be on Thursday. You can catch it live on Patreon, and I'll also give you a free view, Free view of the show, the first few minutes of it, on Facebook and Twitter. Okay? Today is the day that my appearance on the Full Exposure podcast with Brian Kelly drops. Okay? And you can get that at fullexposurepodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Just search Full Exposure and Full Exposure Podcast, wherever you download podcasts, and you'll be in good shape. Talk with Brian for about an hour. We did end up editing, or he ended up editing some of the things that were extremely dated because we recorded the damn thing back in June. And then as he talked about on the show, he basically shut his podcast down for extended time. And so this episode has been kind of like in a holding pattern, if you will. But we talk a lot about kidney stuff, and Brian's just a wonderful guy to talk to. I just love that guy. Very, very close friend, and very, very sweet. So the Full Exposure podcast is where that is. Okay, in the state of Oregon, for the longest time, I've been saying that Michigan is like the new green state, and I think, that still is to some degree, but I didn't even realize that this was a thing. Oregon voters have approved decriminalization of hard drugs. And this has me like, oh boy, I don't know. But, I think that it's okay. It's called Measure 110, and they're going to use revenue from pot in Oregon to help recovery programs. Stay with me here. The article talks about how 50 years after the war on drugs began in the 1970s, Oregon voters decided on an alternative path. They are decriminalizing user amounts of illicit substances and accompanying recovery treatment options instead of throwing addicts in jail. So small amounts of heroin, cocaine, LSD, oxycodone, and some other drugs, according to the story. The approved measure makes Oregon the first state in the nation to decriminalize hard drugs, along with the legalization. They also made the legalization of therapeutic use. I think you could say it, psilocybin mushrooms. Am I saying that right? So magic mushrooms. The initiative will reclassify personal drug possession to a Class E violation with a maximum $100 fine. It does not affect people selling or manufacturing illegal drugs, so they're still going to be in trouble if they sell or manufacture drugs. But if you're caught with a small amount because you need your fix because you're addicted to drugs, you could get the fine waived by completing a health assessment during which they could be connected with treatment, recovery, and housing services. I would love to see the numbers of how many people that are behind bars for a long period of time and how much it costs to keep them behind bars and the effectiveness of that. I'm sure that had a lot to do with getting this whole thing decriminalized. So, yeah, I don't know if necessarily taking people who have a drug problem and throwing them behind bars is a good idea in the first place. So I'm kind of glad that this happened. I just can't believe that what we're seeing, though, and how and as time has passed. Jane Gullickson, one of the chief petitioners, spent 22 years addicted to meth, beginning in her teenage years. Despite coming from a privileged background, her drug use spiraled out of control. So she's kind of like thanking the Oregon voters. My God, 22 years and beating it. Oh, my God, that sounds really, really hard. So there you go. They're doing that in Oregon now, so no big deal. It isn't like they're saying, all right, go ahead and everybody do drugs. They're just making it so that you don't spend a lot of time in jail or locked up or anything like that, which I think makes sense. I think that when something like that happens because of an election where a law like that is passed or decriminalization of hard drugs, I think that kind of like starts to get more states thinking along those lines. So I'm pretty progressive in that mindset of thinking that that's the way to go. I don't think that it makes sense to lock people up when they're addicted to drugs, but I think that something should be done to help them, rather. Okay, this story out of Detroit. Ooh, this is screwed up. Listen to this one. It is involves, my God, some dude who got pissed off about something that was said about his baby. So, I mean, like if I have a baby and someone says, hey man, your baby's ugly, I'm probably going to get pissed off and yell and scream, and that's about it. But take a listen to what this guy did.
He kept his camera rolling from start to finish, and what he captured was chilling. A gunman blindly firing shots directly into an occupied home. We often report on incidents just like this, but we seldom, if ever, see video of the entire incident from beginning to end.
Yeah, it's incredible. Take a look.
He's shooting right into a house. This guy. We're in the front lawn shooting into a house.
This all happened at a home on Margarita and Stoller on Detroit's west side. Defender Sean Lake spoke to the man who recorded that video. Sean,
they really don't need to play it on repeat while she's trying to tell the story, you know?
I had to ask, did he fear for his own safety?
He did not. He was safe enough away, and he also knew, let's get this out of the way right away, he knew Detroit police were also on the way, so he kept rolling. He captured the incident from start.
You know, typically in Detroit, you got a no snitch policy. This guy broke all those rules. He recorded it, gave it to the news, and held the cops. And he's seen on camera. I would be scared to death of doing that.
To finish, he says we all can learn from this incident that if we're ever in some sort of argument, there are plenty of escape routes to back off, back away, and de-escalate. But in this case, this man kept coming, and he was coming with a gun.
I wasn't prepared for what I saw.
This is the video Larry Turner captured early Sunday morning. It is shocking. A young man unloading a handgun into a home here on Margarita. I counted 14 shots.
And it was about 16.
First of all, Turner heard people yelling during a domestic dispute that Detroit police had been called and were on the way. Then Turner pressed record on his phone. And all of what you are seeing, Turner says, is because someone allegedly called someone else's baby ugly.
Oh.
What unfolded was...
You thought I was kidding. That's actually the reason why this all happened. We got an ugly baby. Shit.
Truly ugly. First, a woman at the home arguing with a couple who pulled up outside.
When you're making decisions quickly, you know the moments when you see somebody when they're thinking, but he just kept making poor decisions.
Decisions like, instead of backing off, the man and woman rush into the home. That man comes back out, falls at his car, grabs a gun.
And then had basically a conscious.
Out loud.
Yeah.
Right there saying, don't do it.
Yeah.
Telling him over and over again.
Yeah.
He still did it.
Throughout the whole process, he was there.
Who did they leave in the car?
They left the baby. It was like 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah, the ugly baby. They left the ugly baby in the car.
Oh, baby.
Cooler heads have to prevail.
After he came out the house, he went in there thinking he was going to win, and it looked like he lost that fight.
Fucking A,
and he needed it to end it with a bang.
That is hard to watch. Absolutely chilling. There were multiple women and children inside that home. Thankfully, Kimberly, not one person was hit by all that gunfire. Back to you.
So now the guy who did it, he's not going to see his ugly baby ever again.
Speechless. I mean, Sean, do we know anybody arrested? Any charges yet?
You know, in the rest of the video, the man and woman, the guy with the gun, they get in that white car and they take off. But again, police were coming, so they stopped them right away. They are in custody tonight. We just checked with the prosecutor's office. They are awaiting a warrant for charges any moment now.
Yeah, incredible. All right. Sean, thanks.
Thank you, Sean. Holy crap. That is just an incredible video. I will link that up. You can see it on your own. But I mean, he's just standing in front of the house just with his piece shooting into the damn house. An absolutely incredible video. Horrible. Perfect time to tell you about BK Guns and Stuff. Oh, my God. I can't make this shit up. This is such great timing. If you want a weapon, in case anybody calls your baby ugly, and you're, well, if you have a weapon and you need it serviced, you need to call upon BK Guns and Stuff. You never know when someone's going to call your baby ugly and you need to empty the magazine into the front of a household. 616-902-2447. It's the Ugly Baby Special. Just send a picture in of your ugly baby. You can get half off your gun cleaning. I'm just kidding. Of course. BK Guns and Stuff. Anywhere in the United States, you can get your weapon clean, customized, serviced. You can even buy a gun at BK Guns and Stuff. Reach out to them about how you can send them the weaponry, the appropriate way to do that from wherever you are in the country. 616-902-2447. Known throughout the country as the best BK Guns and Stuff. While we're on the subject of guns, paintball guns. I have a paintball event. Socially distant paintball event happening November 25th. And I don't know what's going on here, but I sent an email out to an email blast to probably 30 or 40 of you former players who have played in the past. And I was like, here's the next one coming up, November 25th, the day before Thanksgiving at noon. And the one thing I didn't write on it was, please RSVP. And not one of you did. So apparently you couldn't read between the lines, and I need to actually write on it. Are you coming? Please let me know. Right now, 21 days away from that paintball event at noon, the day before Thanksgiving at TC Paintball, I have one of you that is signed up to play. You need to RSVP. Seriously, it puts the anxiety in high gear when I know that, oh my God, where is everybody? The usual suspects aren't going to be there. What's going on? So please respond to that email with a, yeah, I'm going to be there, Eric, no problem. That is coming up, again, the 25th of November, noon, high noon, for Paintball War number 11, the Kidney Offensive. 1 week after that, well, hell, 4 days after that, I'm in California for my kidney donation. So that's the last hurrah. Don't worry. I'll be way, way far apart from you all. I'll wave at you from across the room, and then I'm going to stay far apart from you when I'm shooting you with paintballs. I got a pizza party beforehand from BC Pizza Grand Rapids on Lake Michigan Drive. And then $35 gets you the paint, the mask, the gun, and the good times at TC Paintball. All right. I'm already late for Dear Meathead with my dad, brought to you by JM Synthetics. So he's probably going to say, where are you, guy? Bring him in right now. You're Johnny on the spot, guy.
Good morning, sunshine.
Hi, Dad. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Never better. Hanging in there.
Yeah, okay. How's your audience doing? They're looking good or feeling good?
I think so. It's weird because everybody's really focused on the election. And
yeah, I agree.
And so everybody feels kind of blue ball because we don't know who won. But I don't know if you went to bed last night and about what time did you go to bed? 11 o'clock or so?
Yeah, about that.
So you probably went to bed thinking, boy, it's looking like Trump's doing very well.
Well, I don't know. I politically, I don't discuss that too much with people, but I was not dubious. I just,
Well, I know.
All up to
what I'm getting at, he was leading in all those states when you.
Yes, he was. Yeah, well, but this guy creeps up kind of fast on him.
Yeah, it's neck and neck. In Michigan, particularly, it's very, very close. In Wisconsin, It's very, very close. This could, in fact, I think it's going to go. I think Biden is going to win. Frankly,
you think so?
I do think that.
I don't know. I don't predict. Joanne thinks Michigan is going to come through.
It's hard to believe that out of all these states, it comes down to these two, in particular, Michigan and Wisconsin.
I never thought Biden would run.
We're going to have a woman president. Biden.
Yeah.
You hear, Joanne?
Is that what she's thinking? That
she says maybe we'll have a woman president.
Well, all right.
Biden's old and he's not going to make it.
Yeah, I do. I do.
So is Trump.
I do.
Not
Yeah.
as old as Biden.
Can you? Seriously, it's these. We got to keep these people healthy. Whoever's in there, we got to keep them healthy.
Well, hey, I'm not political, and I don't discuss my views with people.
I know.
And I just keep it to myself.
Sure. All right.
That's the best way to go because I remember. I had my neighbor come up there and talk, and for some reason it went to the politics, and I do not say a peep about it. And he started going on and on, and
that is.
Oh, he was really political.
That's always very uncomfortable to me when someone starts like you. I mean, it's one thing on a podcast or a show where you're expected to have a view and throw it out there and then let it be discussed. But if I'm there raking my lawn and my neighbor comes up to me and starts getting into it with me, I don't want any part of that discussion.
No. I don't care to discuss politics because you have a view of your own and I have my own view, and it doesn't belong to you and yours doesn't belong to me.
I kind of wish that I could gather up my wits. And instead of just ignoring when someone does that and just say, I just, saying what you just said, that exact thing, and say, hey, I don't really discuss that with anybody. It's a very private thing. And then I wish I would double down and then say, and you coming up to me and boldly throwing it out there like that. The problem is they're going to assume that you're not with them, and then they're going to judge you and make your life miserable,
Absolutely. Hey, believe you me, do the best way you know how to keep your opinion to yourself unless it's really affecting your life, whatever they say.
Yeah.
Then defend yourself. Just defend yourself. But don't retaliate.
Okay. Now, Dad, moving on, I'm pretty sure that one of my audience members, a gentleman by the name of Tim D., is going to be able to buy the chainsaw on Meathead's marketplace.
Yes.
And you just told me that the chainsaw is in tip-top condition. And
I just got it back. It's cleaned up beautifully and readjusted. And I mean, this guy, the engineer in those things, I just cost $30 to repair, do all those things.
Now, Tim is very excited about getting his chainsaw. He keeps reaching out to me saying, "When can I get it? When can I get it?" And I'm like, "Well, it's Dad's way across the other side of the state, so it's going to take a little bit for us to get this taken care of." But he's real antsy about it, Dad. But I wanted to talk to you since that appears to be a done deal. We should move on to the next items on Meathead's Marketplace. Didn't you tell me you've got a couple of collections you want to tell the audience about?
So, postage stamp collection. Yes, I have 10 complete years of those postage stamps from now till 10 years behind us. However, there's probably some of the very expensive ones. I don't have those collections, but they're all. I went with the canceled postage stamps. If people afford it, I only could afford maybe 5 or 6 of those. But it's a complete collection.
Okay, so you said last 10 years, and then you said now and 10 years behind us.
Well, I mean, 10 years from last 10 years.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. It just sounded funny.
But that's what I meant.
Yeah, I got it. So, Dad, I don't know anything about collecting stamps. You mean to tell me that they just release them and then kind of like baseball cards? Is that what this is?
At the end of each year, you get a complete list of all the new postage stamps were issued for that year.
Right.
So you collect them all, and it goes in a book.
Okay. Now, how come people don't just take these stamps and use them to mail things?
They can do that.
But
they can do that. It's a regular postage stamp.
And are they worth more over time?
As the years progress, yes, a complete collection, for instance, is quite valuable.
Okay, so now I want you to think.
I mean, I spent a lot of money on those things.
I know you did. Now, I don't want you to tell me now, but I want you to.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I don't know what I pay for it.
Well, I know. No. What I'm getting at is because eventually you would want to sell these, but you have to come up with a price tag on them. So you have to be thinking about that, and then I'll check back with you. Or if anybody's interested, then I can connect you two, and then you guys can discuss that.
Yeah, I really don't know how I would go to put a price on it, so I have to do some checking up myself. You're right. So if it's a complete special book and all that, so I don't know. I have to put it together.
Yeah, maybe ask Michael too, brother Michael. Maybe he'd have some insight about what to do with that.
Good with that. I got him started in his life.
Yeah. Okay. What about the coins? I understand you're collecting coins too. Holy crap.
The coins are nothing significant. There's some old-fashioned items in there, about $8 or $10 a piece. I haven't looked at it to see what I've done with it.
Yeah. What the hell are you selling all this stuff for? I mean, are you short of cash? What's going on?
No, I'm not short of cash whatsoever. But the point is, I'm to my age that what is my wife going to do upon my departure if this is what it is, or what my kids are going to do with it?
God.
It's a pain in the neck.
Yeah, God, I
will get it, and then I'll have cash, and if I drop it, then there's nobody else around. Well, the kids can divide it.
God, that's a tough thing to process, especially now.
I know.
That's tough, man.
But it's real.
I don't even like thinking about it, man. But all right, I get it. Okay, well, if anybody has an interest, they can definitely reach out to me, and we'll move.
All right, I'll get the stamps all together and give you a number, and then we'll discuss it from there on.
Okay.
But it's going to take me a while to do that.
Oh yeah, I get it totally. We got time. Well, hell, you're going to be alive for about another 50 or 60 years. We all know that.
No. Give me about 10 years at most. You're really pushing it. I'm pushing it. In 10 years, I'm pushing it.
Isn't there some?
Maybe 5 years,
I always am impressed when someone hits 100 years old. You got to go for 100, Dad.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would like to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where I'm going, I should make it.
I know, seriously. You walk miles. You and Joanne walk miles and miles every week. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You're both.
Well, we walk 2 miles a day.
Well, yeah, that's miles and miles a week, and that's
Well, yesterday we walked 2.5 miles because we got kind of lost where the hell we're going. We're arguing about where we're going, what direction.
Oh, you got lost. Holy crap!
I didn't get lost. We took a different route, and that was a long route because we always gauge our miles.
Yep. It's
definitely 2 miles every day.
Okay.
This time we veered off and went in excess of 2 miles.
All right. So I have a number of questions here that I want to get to. This person wants to remain anonymous.
Okay.
Dear Meathead, I am 35 years old. I recently came into a large settlement of money due to an accident. I have a hobby farm and some property to keep me busy. I'm thinking about retiring and focusing on the farm. People are telling me I'm too young to retire. Do you think I should take advantage of the blessings that I have been given to me or continue to work until a normal retirement age? You and Joanne are my favorite part of the week.
Well, thank you. God bless you.
Signed, Anonymous. So again,
Mr. Anonymous.
Yeah, again, Dad, he's 35 years old and he's got a ton of cash. What should he do? Should he retire or should he keep working?
Let me understand this. He's got a ton of cash and he's got a nice farm or a large farm.
Apparently, it's described as a hobby farm. I'm not really sure what a hobby farm is.
Well, I think if that was me, I really would like that opportunity. I mean, that's something that doesn't happen to everyone or a lot often.
Yeah.
I think if it's something that it's eating at you to decide what you're going to do, have the farm is a good thing. And work, like Joanne says, it has a purpose. And it serves a purpose. However, it does involve a lot of work. If you can do that, I really welcome that. I would have welcomed that opportunity if that happened to me in my life. However, be cautious of how you spend the large funds that you come across.
Yeah.
Don't be foolish. Don't squander the money.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my fatherly advice to you, my friend.
All right. Now, I
do it.
I have a caveat. I agree with you. I think anytime anybody can, I mean, just if you can do that, if that's, I think some planning needs to go into that. I think you shouldn't just stuff the money in a mattress and use it a little bit at a time.
Do that. Don't do that.
You could very easily invest that and then draw off of that while it makes money so it doesn't deplete so quickly. That's one thing I should do. You should call a professional about that. Second of all,
good advice.
Volunteer. Keep working, but do it for free. You need to volunteer. Put in like 15, 20 hours a week. I don't care if it's freaking working with the homeless or I don't know, to come up with something to do, because there is if you have that means, I think you should, in my opinion, utilize some of your time and donate it to whomever would be a worthy recipient, whatever organization that has a real value to it. I think that this person should absolutely do those two things.
Excellent idea.
Adding to
you're giving him a good advice. So as that goes, I would really, I couldn't embellish it like you did, because I was kind of lost for words there.
That's okay. I think you did good. I think you did really good.
That's a great idea, honey. You help him out like that.
All right. All right. Teo writes this. Dear Meathead, Teo lives...
What is the name?
Teo. Teo or Teo. I'm not sure what it is. But
okay.
Teo lives in Rapid City, South Dakota, and writes, Dear Meathead, what is the best way to go about talking with family members that don't share your political views when they are really vocal about it? I think we kind of touched on this earlier, but if you could kind of encapsulate, you imagine, Dad, you've got a family member that's really aggressive. How do you deal with that, Dad?
That's a little sore subject with me. Here's the situation. Let me tell you the situation, and then I'll take this up. I have a friend of mine, dear friend of mine.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned that a minute ago.
All right. Well, he began to talk politics, and I'm not a political person to discuss my views with someone else.
Right.
Because my views are my views, and it doesn't belong to anyone else to know it.
Yep.
Because there's no point in trying to prove my point politically to the next person. I keep letting the person to keep talking, and I did not say negative or positive words.
Yeah.
I don't see the advantage of a discussion politically or any opinion that is of yours with anyone else.
Yes.
Unless it's your child is going to do something wrong and you're trying to make it right. I just don't believe in doing that, because all it does is eventually, if you're going to persist on your opinion versus the other, it's going to cause you nothing but grief.
Very good.
So
all right.
I back off of that. If someone says something about something, that's all. Let them say it.
Yep.
Because what is your thoughts is your thoughts. Doesn't belong to anybody else.
All right, Dad. Boring Dean writes this. Now, let me give you a little bit of background here. Boring Dean is kind of like a psychopath, and he I have talked on the show that the nickname that I have for Diana is Pooh, and I'm the only one who can use it. But this psychopath keeps referring to Diana as Pooh, which makes me cringe every time. His question is, do you have any cute nicknames for Joanne? I like the nickname Pooh. What do you think? Thanks, Boring Dean.
I know her only as Joanne.
You don't have any nicknames?
I have no nickname.
You don't call her...
I could really, if I want to say something, call her the Laughing Woman.
Oh, how about you don't call her Love or Honey or...
No. I call her Honey sometimes.
Well, there you go. That's it.
Yeah, I do it. Honey, what do you think of that? You know, she calls me Bozo.
Oh, of course. Calls you,
you know,
calls you
I don't know why. I still don't
know.
make common sense one way or the other, so I guess Bozo is good.
Dad, Benjamin writes this. Meathead, the other night, my wife and I got woken up from some loud noises outside. It turns out some raccoons had opened up the trash cans and were digging through them. What can I do? What can I do to keep them out?
Well, this is a tough one. That container that you've got, is that if it's a metal container or even plastic? It's a large dumpster that you put trash in it. Is that how it is?
I don't know. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing it's.
There are two holes, one on one end, the top of the thing, and one on the other. Put a piece of wire going through one hole to the other hole, and every night twist it so they can't open the lid.
Oh, that's it, huh? Just that's
it.
A piece of wire.
If they can't open the lid, they can't get in it.
Okay.
Put the lid on it. On the body of that container, drill two little holes with a long wire.
Yep.
One through the one to the other. All you got to do is take it apart once a day. If I don't know how often you dump your trash, you know. But we don't have this issue, so I don't have to do it. What I have a fence built around all of my where the containers are.
Yeah.
And it's got a door on them.
Yeah, and they don't.
I built my own doors and all that. I open them up, put a set. And
but
then it's got a lid on it. You can't get in my trash container.
Yeah, but the I don't think the fence keeps the raccoons out. I mean, they can easily climb that fence. I think
they can climb, but if you got a lid on it,
yeah,
with the wire through it, they can't open it up.
Okay, all right, there you go. Well, hopefully you'll take that advice. Lee in Michigan writes, "Dear Meathead, I recently shot a rabbit, and I'm not sure how to cook it. Do you have a recipe for cooking a wild rabbit?"
First of all, I hate to shoot animals of any kind. So that's not a pet peeve, because people still want to hunt, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I like the rabbit stew. If they give it to me, I'd eat it.
You would? I've never had it.
No, I never have had rabbit stew.
God.
And In fact, I don't know if I ever ate rabbit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you want? No, we never ate rabbit.
I just
now, what's the question again? I really got involved in this.
He wants to know if you have a recipe.
Unfortunately, I cannot help him.
Okay.
But because I really don't want to cook a rabbit.
No.
I don't want to cook any animal. I don't want to kill any animal.
Well, I know, but that's just because you're thinking in the moment. I mean, you eat lamb. I mean, lamb is a baby sheep. It's adorable. You ever see a lamb? They're just the sweetest.
I've seen them. I grew up with animals.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up with people that would walk their sheep out in the woods, and we'd go out there and sit there on the rocks watching.
Yeah. Well, you would, I mean, hell, you would pretty much take a bite out of the back of a baby lamb because.
No, but hey, when they butcher and slaughter and sell me the beef, I'll eat it.
The beef,
or whatever.
The lamb. It's not beef, dum-dum.
Well, I know, lamb or beef or whatever. They kill a whole cow, and I eat part of the cow.
All right. Finally, last question. Mike writes, Meathead, have you ever had a crazy encounter with wildlife? Please embellish.
Porcupines I've had, but I caught a snake, which you remember. No, you don't remember that. No, it wasn't your territory. We were up north one time, and a snake crossed my son's foot.
Yeah.
We were watching. He's a little kid.
Yeah.
But
my brother. Yeah.
Your brother.
Yes.
Paul.
You made
it.
And
he let a painful scream. And I went ahead and caught that thing. It was a pretty big snake.
Yeah.
And I managed it. Would you believe it was big enough for me? I stuff it in a can and put the lid on it.
Yes.
And then I took him out there, and there's a bunch of workers on the side of the road.
Right.
And I'm going to show them, hey, what do you think? This is a poisonous snake or not? And this one guy was working. Someone didn't trust me for doing that. And he hated snakes, which unbeknown to me. And I opened up, and the snake had a head sticking out. Oh, my God. He ran like a crazy bugger.
Oh, yeah. You freaked the guy out. He hated you.
So the guy saw, hey, he took it right by his hand and pitched it out in the woods.
Okay. He's like, give me this thing, you knucklehead.
Yeah.
It's not poisonous.
Yeah. But the snakes don't really, it kind of makes me sick.
They make you say, okay, all right, yeah. Well, Dad, that's a lot of animal talk on the show. You've provided some good insight with your. Well,
that was a personal experience.
No, that's good. That's what we want. That's what we sign up for.
All right.
Is there anything else? It sounded like you were just about to say something.
Well, the one thing I want to tell you, what is the opinion of what we discussed it on that gizmo, that chainsaw, or
what about the chainsaw?
Yeah, do I send it up with Mike?
I reached out to Mike, and he indicated he wasn't sure when he was going to go up north again, but yeah, if I'm going up there and I find out that he is going up there, then yeah, I'll have him grab a chainsaw.
Give me a call.
Yeah.
And I'll make the arrangements.
And if not, I'll just get it when I see you. It's not really that urgent of a thing, you know?
Yeah, okay, but it's here. This man's here. I'm not going to sell it.
No, I know it, man. The dude is ready. He can't wait to get his hands on that chainsaw.
But I want to tell you something. If you can tell him this, it is a piece of cat's meow. It's beautiful machine. So clean, so great, and what a powerful machine.
All right, I got to make sure I got this. This is a fine.
A piece of meow, cat's meow.
It is a piece of cat's meow.
Yeah, not all of the cat's meow.
Not all the okay.
I got my wife happy. I don't know what's going on here.
I think it's the mixed metaphor that you're saying that's getting her laugh.
It's an Armenian way of describing.
I think you started to say it's a piece of cake, and then you realized you were saying piece of cake doesn't make sense.
Oh, piece of cat.
So it's.
You could be right there. I don't know.
All right, Dad. Well, I love you very much. Okay, you and Joanna the best.
Enjoy the conversation. We had a lot of laughs, and may the right guy become the president of the United States of America.
That's right. Let the voters decide, and at the end of the day, we're all going to be fine, no matter who wins.
Absolutely.
Okay, Dad, I love you.
I love you too, and say hello to the family.
Yeah, and Joanna, and I love Joanne too, and everybody feels the same way.
Oh, I love you too, Eric, and I love your audience.
Okay. Yeah.
Audience is awesome. You got a great audience.
They're the best. I'm very fortunate. We are very fortunate.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Stay healthy.
Yes. Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guy. There you go. Whew. Oh, man. That is fantastic. Hold on a second here. Dear Meathead, brought to you by our friends at JM Synthetics. Go to jmsynthetics.com. And you can this is great. I got to read this. And get yourself some AMSoil. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Get yourself some AMSoil from JM Synthetics online at jmsynthetics.com. They invented synthetic motor oil, and I'll throw in a copy of Van Halen's Diver Down on vinyl or whatever record you want for my record collection. Just let me know. When did this text come in? At 9:07. All right, I need my glasses. This is great. State of Michigan at 9:07. Joe Biden, like we've been talking about, has been making up ground. And at this point in time, there was a real-time update that hit. And Joe Biden had 49.2% of the state of Michigan. And Donald Trump had 49.2% of the state of Michigan. Joe Biden had 2,470,704 votes. And Donald Trump had 2,469,367 votes. So basically, they were separated by 37 votes. Wow. Hang on. Got to sneeze. Oh, God. COVID positive sneeze right there. Woo. Can you believe that? 37 votes. They've, it's Biden has been just steadily making up ground. And now he leads Trump by just a handful of votes. I think Biden is going to win. And I went to bed thinking Trump was going to win. And then I was in the process yesterday of seeing all the people bitch and moan because a lot of the blue staters were like losing faith because of Trump's lead in those states that had Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And people were freaking out about that. And then what they weren't remembering is that the amount of votes that hadn't yet been counted, as they will continue to count those. I just hope and pray that Trump exhibits some class if it goes the way I think it's going to go and is smart about this. But we shall see. Okay, Dad was awesome again. Seriously. Absolutely great. Hey, thanks to Terrytown RV. Their website is terrytownrv.com. Amazing group of people over there. Go to their website and check out the travel trailers, mobile homes, fifth wheels, whatever you need. They got everything. And you can shop outdoors if you want. You can shop indoors. They have a facility with more than 200 units for you to look at. And I'm telling you, man, getting any one of those units that I described is just a really, really fantastic thing when you can just hook up your trailer and just go to whatever part of the state or country that you want to go to and just enjoy it. Man, it is. I just wish I had started doing this when my kids were younger. So many more memories we would have had. And that's it, man. Those are the things that you remember. I don't care what anybody tells you. Camping and traveling in this manner is so so far superior than any other trip, in my opinion, where you, like friggin' Disney World or something like that. It's like, God dang it. What What an absolute scam. Hell, you go to Disney World and pay for however much time you spend there, and that's pretty much a year's worth of travel if you have your camper, travel trailer, or fifth wheel, motorhome, RV, whatever it may be. TerrytownRV.com, thank you. Hey, if you're traveling through Holland, Michigan on Lakewood Boulevard, and then you see on the side of the road the luxurious Windmill Estates mobile home park, right across the street from that is Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery. Those folks are awesome. Love them so much. Drop by, say hello to Joanne and Jim, and get yourself a bottle of wine, a growler of whatever beer is on tap, brewed, ready to go, and maybe even a bottle of grappa. What is that? Well, take a little shot of it. Not enough to get you hammered, just to taste it. Ooh, that's strong. That's going to put some hair on your wiener. Get it at Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery. You need more information about them. Click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com, and it'll take you right to their page. Okay, boy, this was a crazy story. I think this is in Minnesota where this happened. There is a high concentration of Sikhs. Okay, Sikhs, the Sikhs. These are people that got the turbans. They walk around. They're all really sweet and kind and love everybody, you know. And what this group of Sikhs would do, these 10 guys, a bunch of old-time Sikhs, they're walking around. Actually, I take it back. This didn't happen in Minnesota. This happened far away from Minnesota. I don't know what I was thinking. A cold weather place, but still not Minnesota. Calgary. Jesus. Calgary, Canada. So they're walking around, and there's this inland type of retention pond, stormwater pond that has frozen over up there, but it's not frozen thick. And some dumbass has decided to go and walk on the ice, which is a huge mistake. So they're sitting there walking on the ice, and these two chicks, and sure enough, they fall through. So the Sikhs are there doing their thing, old man stuff, walking around, sharing stories. And like, oh my God, these people are in desperate need. We need to help them. I wish we had a rope. Oh no, we don't have a rope. What do we have? We've got our turbans. They took off their turbans and tied them together, and they're throwing it out to the chick, trying to save her life.
It's something that Kulbinder Bangar says she'll remember forever.
Oh, the screams were like a deathly scream. It was so terrifying. It's just in my head still. It's hard to erase. It was just unimaginable.
Those screams coming from two young girls who fell through the ice on Friday. Passers-by say the girls had ventured out onto the frozen stormwater pond in northeast Calgary. The ice gave way and they plunged into the freezing water.
Those two young ladies who were in the water screaming, and it was quite a terrifying experience.
As they do every day, a handful of seniors were walking around the pond. They quickly went to the edge of the water, first using siding to try and reach one of the girls. But when that didn't work,
these guys are like recreating it, and there was some building materials, and they're like holding siding out, and there's no chance in hell that's going to work.
Turbans, and they're tying it, and they're trying to throw it in the water to save these young girls. So what he said was, then they tried to help her, and they said in their faith, Sikh faith, that it's a big thing to take your turban off, but they didn't think for one moment.
Minutes later, someone brought a garden hose and the group pulled the girl to safety, while others on the far bank.
So all these Sikhs got their turbans off. They tie it together like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon when Bugs would break out of prison. And they're throwing it out there, but they're doing it all wrong, because you ever try to like throw a bed sheet, it goes like 1 foot. So, you know, they needed a weight on the end of it, but they I don't know why the fuck they didn't tie like, I don't know, a rock to the end of it or something. So they're all there with their heads exposed now, and it's a big deal when you take off the turban. They've got enough turban rope, but they're doing it all fucked up. And then finally someone shows up with a garden hose, and then the Sikh's like, what the fuck? Where were you? We wouldn't have taken our turbans off, you asshole. Why didn't you show up in the first place when you saw us taking off our fucking turbans?
Help the other.
It was a wonderful experience to see, these elderly citizens. They're always walking around, and they're watching the neighborhood, and they went out of their way.
EMS say it's always dangerous to head out on frozen ponds or rivers.
It's not possible to tell the thickness of any ice in terms of what is safe or not.
But luckily, the girls weren't seriously injured thanks to the quick thinking of neighbors.
It did have a positive ending, other than being mildly cold, some very early or mild hypothermia. There was no sort of ill effects or lasting repercussions from this incident.
Some of those living around the pond are asking for a fence. Vanguard just wants others to be more careful.
I really think that parents and families should be more aware of protecting your children, no matter which area you live in, ponds, lakes, to be careful.
Michael King, Global News.
All right. So as this election, day after the election continues, the story is who the fuck won? How are we going to know? And listen to this. I keep getting real-time updates of the state of Michigan. And remember, just a handful of minutes ago, Biden was up by like 30 votes. It had finally flipped. Well, now he's putting the gas, stepping on the gas. He is now up by almost 12,000 votes in Michigan, or more than 12,000 votes. Just like that. He has 49.3% of the vote, 40 to 49.1% for Trump. 90% of the precincts are reporting. Remember, whoever loses Pennsylvania has to win all these states that I was talking about. And as of we speaking right now in Pennsylvania, real time, Biden is getting his ass kicked. I don't know. Well, that's still the only 64% reporting. But Trump leads it. He has 54.5% of the vote to Biden's 44.4%. He leads by a pretty good margin right now. But again, there's a lot to count. But if that holds true, if Biden does lose that, he has to win all these other states. And Michigan is turning to Biden right now. And in Wisconsin now, it is still very, very close. But 95% of the votes are in Wisconsin. And Biden leads by 21,000 votes. He has 49.6% of the vote to Trump's 48.9%. See Nevada real-time election results. In Nevada, 67% of precincts are reporting. And, late, I mean, this late after the election, all of these are those absentee ballots that are piling up, which Trump was like, oh, fuck it, vote day of. No, this is bullshit. Biden leads by just under 8,000 votes in Nevada. Where's Georgia? So this all bodes very well for him. Georgia. 94% of precincts reporting in Georgia. Trump leads it. 50.5% of the vote to Biden's 48.3% of the vote. Now, I'd have to look at the map and who has what in terms of electoral votes currently and what the states that Biden is leading in, if he were to win all those, where that would put him. But this is just remarkable how it turned from bedtime to morning time. And Laura was right. It actually is a lot like 4 years ago, because I went to bed 4 years ago and Trump, Florida had not yet been called. And I was like, it's over. Hillary Clinton's going to win. There's no way that Trump's going to be able to take Florida. And then he got Florida. And then, holy shit, that was a big surprise. It's looking very good now for Joe Biden. And that is quite a stark turn after where we were last night. Folks, I've got more coming up on the Patreon bonus podcast. As always, I can't thank you enough for making this one part of your day in my humble surroundings. Who was it? It says work hard, stay humble. What's that guy's name? Kendrick Lamar, work hard, stay humble. I try to do that. Thanks, folks. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you on Patreon. Eric Zane Show podcast for today. Till next time. Bye-bye.
That was a shit show.
Stand back and stand by. Will you shut up, man?
Kenny, Mike, Kenny, whoever the fuck. I'm so drunk right now.
Matt, Mark fucking Pellerito, you better fucking Mark fucking Pellerito.